This is Illumination. I did pretty much every major animated since we did. Uh, what did we do? We did Pixar and DreamWorks a while ago. Like, might as well just do the rest since there's not like a ton, but there's several notable ones. I haven't seen everything, especially the newer stuff. I think Illumination gets a very bad rap. Obviously, a lot of this stuff is like, I don't know how to explain it other than it can be a little generic. Yeah, that's a nice, that's a nice word I could use. I didn't know they made Hop, and now that I'm looking at this, for the rest of these, I tried to keep off like live action stuff. But for this one and the last one, I did the Minion people. I don't know if you've seen any of these, Gio. Have you? But they started and came to prominence in like the 2010s. So it's all mostly recent, like very recent movies. I can't even see what that is down there actually. The bottom right. Wait a minute. I'm gonna see if I can do this. Yes. Okay, but I need this windowed. There we go. There we go. Now I can Secret Life of Pets. When people talk about Illumination, this comes to mind because this is probably the most like the only thing that comes to mind is like AI generated movie. It's just like so devoid of anything interesting. It's like a lifeless film. Soulless is probably the best way to describe it. This is like the movie that you fall asleep to on a summer afternoon because it's so boring and you don't even want to stay up and watch the rest of it. Hop, we used to watch this back in the day, back when it came out. I didn't know they made this. I assumed they did the animation. I didn't look into it. I assumed they did the animation for it. I remember people used to compare the Sonic movie to this movie before the Sonic movie came out, and the Sonic movie is a much better template for this sort of movie than Hop is. But Hop is not a bad movie. I haven't seen it in ages. I don't remember most of it, but it's not terrible. It's just kind of by the books. And then Minions, I've talked about Minions a bit on some of these other ones, but Minions and Penguins of Madagascar have this thing where like they take the popular side characters and they try to make their own story with it, but these side characters are kind of dependent on the main characters to be effective. So without that, it kind of sucks out all the interesting stuff that the movie has to offer. This is like such a forgettable, nothing film. They made a second one, which I haven't seen. I have no interest in seeing it. I'm gonna have to go heal again. And then I didn't make these tiers. So some of these tier lists, the criteria on the left is gonna be different. I just left it as is because most of them are fine, even if it's not what I would use. So basically the bottom would be C. What this is B. Despicable Me sequels are good. A lot of people, when you hear them talk about Illumination, they'll say Despicable Me was good and everything else sucks. But I think this Despicable Me sequels are pretty solid. They're well written. They're probably not as like amazing as the first one, but they're pretty good. 3 I only seen once when it came out. I thought it was decent. It was a good time with his brother and stuff. It had a solid emotional through line. I don't remember the villain. It was good seeing the chemistry between, I can't remember her name, but Gru's wife. And that's why I like 2 a bit more. I know. I didn't. To me, a boring or devoid piece is like 5. Like that's middle of the road. I don't dislike it or like it. So it's just right in the middle, you know. If I dislike something, you're gonna get lower than 5. It's basically 5 is like the benchmark, and then I either take away or I add to that score, depending on. It's just such a devoid film that, but it's still watchable. It's very pretty. All the Illumination movies are very pretty, but it's just there's nothing there. Like you'll watch the movie and you'll probably forget about it within a week, you know. Despicable Me too. There's some stuff in there I really like. The villain was cool. I like the mall setting. Some of the stuff with the minions was actually pretty nice. I like the hero stuff. It's solid. I do enjoy that movie. I've seen it a few times now. Sing was a surprise because I remember rewatching Sing recently because it was just on, and being shocked at how much better it was than I remember. I remember Sing being along the lines of Secret Life of Pets, where there's just nothing there, like absolutely nothing to sink your teeth into or to enjoy. It's just like mindless kid stuff to put on for your toddler on their tablet. But I rewatched that and it was really good, like really solid. It takes a lot from the 2010, I want to say, Muppets, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, and especially the ending. And I'm a sucker for what Muppets did with its ending, and I had a great time rewatching that movie. Despicable Me is a classic. It's got to be this high. You know, put them on the map for a reason. I would say it's a modern day classic. It's great, and it's no wonder that it blew up like it did. We can use Peck on this guy. Mario Bros. Movie is a tour de force of, how do I say it? Animation. It's visually stunning, especially as a Mario fan. It was a treat to watch something like that, where the game has like come to pretty much been translated to screen. But I have a lot of issues with some of the characterizations, some of the choices, like the insert songs that they put in there, not really for me. The pacing is pretty bad. It's really this high because of how the visuals. You know, it was a real treat when this came out. I'm hoping the next one's a lot better. Unfortunately, I don't think it will be story-wise. I really don't like, I'm not sure if I've talked about this on here. I really don't like what they did with Peach. Or Luigi. And Toad, I'm iffy on. And there's like some real... I don't like what they did with Cranky either. It's just but it's still like, I'm very glad it exists, you know. And then the Lorax is... I'm not even sure how I could describe it. There's something about the Lorax in Horton Hears a Who, and the Grinch too, actually. It's like the Dr. Seuss adaptations. Yeah. Sorry, Keo, if I just spoiled you. I won't say anything more, but he is. There's something about some of the Dr. Seuss adaptations that are really that were made into movies. They really knock them out of the park. They add so much onto what was already there, but they don't take away from the core that was the original story. And I also like that they make their own story with it. You know, they don't try to do it one-to-one, which is very much appreciated. It's probably my favorite, like, adaptations now that I think about it. Because you have, like, an amazing book in the Lorax. Maybe not amazing, but the Lorax is one of Dr. Seuss's better works, I would say. And then you have the movie, which kind of takes it and does its own little spin on it, but it still has the same message. The original stuff is really good and has its own message, but it still kind of ties into the main theme of it. That, Horton Hears a Who, and in 2000's Grinch all do that very, very well. This guy, dude. I don't have quick attack. I would have used quick attack right there. I'm not sure who can take this. We're just gonna do Mankey. But that's a modern day classic, I would say. That's one of the best animated movies of the 2010s. The music is incredible too. I was just listening to Needville at work the other day because it came on. And it was banging, you know. It's amazing, amazing. But yeah, that's it for Illumination.